Hey guys, thank you so much for joining the seminar. It is called Small Account Seminar. Now, I wanted to make sure that we talk about how it is a lot different for us to grow a small account versus a large account. But plainly speaking, no two account sizes are similar strategy. So, what I mean by that is you can't follow someone who's trading with a $10,000 account if you are trading with a 500 or a $2,000 account. So I'm going to talk about what I consider a small account, and I'm going to talk about how you need to be extremely disciplined when you're working with a small account. And a lot of people really don't talk about this, but it's so much harder to grow a small account versus a large account, and we'll get over that why is the case. Now, I'm starting back this YouTube channel after a long time. I made an interview video. Make sure you guys watch it. Again, that was for one of my members who took a $5,000 account to then getting a 10K month or a $20,000 a month. Um, Essentially using these principles. I'm gonna do another interview that'll be uploaded in the next couple of days where someone is up 50% on their account, just taking 3 or 4 trades. Again, the principles are the same, but before I get started, I want to quickly talk about one thing. When you are trading, and regardless of what your account size is, make sure, regardless of how much experience you have or the person you're learning from has, make sure any trade that you take matches your risk tolerance. And we'll get more into that once we start this presentation. Okay, so one of the things with trading is you only want to focus on things you can control. A lot of times I see these blame games, which is, market's going down because Trump said this, or market is going down because it's manipulated. All that stuff is taking control away from you. So we only focus on things that you can control. And this is universal regardless if you're taking small or large, but it's extremely important for small accounts because they do not have enough bullets or resources to make multiple mistakes. Because if you have a large account, you have bunch of plays go wrong. It is a large account. It's a lot easier as long as your position size is small. With small account though, it's not easy because once you go in that hole where you've blown up 50% of your account, it's really hard for you to come back up. Okay, so what are some of the things that you can control? One is your account size. How much you put in your account is what you can control. One of the things that we'll talk in the next couple of slides is when you're putting this money, you're only putting the money that you're not emotionally attached to. Okay. Number two is position size. I'm going to walk you through a formula that I have for position size, and it'll really help you. See, a lot of people are going to think that what Mo's going to teach here is, go small in the position size. I'm going to tell you the opposite. I would say take less positions, but whatever position that you take, have a decent amount of size. So when it does go in your favor, you're able to make a decent amount. And that's something that you can control. Number three is your risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is your ability to react when you are um, getting in a trade, to evaluate the amount of risk you're comfortable taking. So if you have I'm going to give you an example actually. Let's say there's two people. Person A has 50,000, person B has 5,000. Person B with $5,000 has a risk tolerance that all of this could go to zero. I would be able to be okay and refund the account, or all this entire 5,000 can be put in one single trade, and I have the tolerance that I will not get emotional. Person A with $50,000 is not okay losing more than 5%, which is $2,500. Now, even though they have $50,000 in their account, they might wonder why their account is growing so slow versus the guy who's trading with 5K. So you need to know what your risk tolerance is. Number fourth is mindset. See, I would say trading is 80% mindset. So number four, it's 80%, and one, two, three are 20% combined. Because I could teach you everything. You could know everything about technical analysis, but if you are someone who isn't in the right frame of mind, you're going to keep self-sabotaging yourself, which we've seen multiple times. Now, I did an interview, I think yesterday was with one of my mentees, Tony, and he turned around his entire trading, which was 4 years worth, in 4 months. He went from losing money to making 10, 20, 25K a month. Do you think I showed him something that no one knows, a secret or a shortcut? No, we need to work on our mindset. So one of the things that I tell people, first is don't compare. Second is don't focus on profits. And third, and this is a big one, if you're not in the right frame of mind, just get out. Don't trade. Okay. All right, let's move on. So this is something that if you can adapt, you're going to be very stress free, and it's going to change the game for you. You need to do less to make more in trading. And I haven't, again, I'm going to repeat myself. I have someone I just talked about that interviewed, or I'm interviewing another person on Friday. They took 5 trades, made 50% on their entire account. They've never been able to do that because their average trades are 20 to 40 trades a month. So we need to change that. So master one strategy. Okay. You don't need to master 5 strategies. I'm going to cover core trades as one of the strategies. And at the end of it, I'm going to tell you where you can download the ebook that goes over that strategy. It's all for free. Just make sure you guys are following along, and comment if you have any question and what kind of content you'd like to see. Number two is risk management. Okay. Risk management is huge. Risk management is huge, right? Um, a lot of people follow this amazing KPI, key performance indicator, called success rate. And if you look at it, it makes sense, right? How many trades you took, versus how many worked versus didn't work, right? The problem though is it's inaccurate when it comes to trading. And the reason for that is you could have a 90% success rate, but the trades that you're winning at, you take profits at 10%, and then the trade that you're losing at, you take losses at 90%, which means every bad trade that you have to have 9 good trades. Almost impossible. You're working the system backward. Now, when I say that, you probably think it's common sense, right? That I can't take profits at 10% and I can't cut at 90%. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know what their average profit percent per trade is and average loss percent rate is, right? So that's where the risk management comes in. It's going to not only tell you what trades to take, more importantly, it's going to avoid over trading for you. So a lot of people don't even know when they get a trade how much they're going to make if they're right and how much they're going to lose when they're wrong. We're going to cover that right after I go through the slide. I'm going to go over an example with you. Third one is, and this is a controversial one, okay? Concentrated risks. Align it with your risk tolerance. And I say that because if you have $1,000 account and you put $800 in a trade that you think that could go, but your risk tolerance is not $800, meaning you're only used to trading with 100, 200. The moment the stock does anything, you're going to prematurely exit with small profits or big losses or small losses. So that has to match with your risk tolerance. Now, if you do all 3 things, you're automatically going to get to trade less. When I tell you the strategy for core trades, it's like giving you a pair of glasses. You put them on, you're only going to see trades that match that frame that'll show up. But most people lack the discipline. So as long as you follow this, you can't trade. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I just called a trade after 2 months, which matches a very high framework, higher than this, because I couldn't find anything because of the market condition. So if you guys are following this, you have the discipline. I'm talking, you'll be lucky if you find 1 trade a week. Okay. Okay. This is the framework for a core trade. And again, I'm going to show you where you can get this framework after. So the first thing is flow. Now, I've worked this backward. When I first started my trading journey, I would come with a watch list and then I would watch who's buying it, who's selling it. And so a lot of time I had a massive list. Second, I was very biased. I'm like, I spend so much time creating this list. Let me find any flow. I work it backward now. I don't make a watch list. I let the market tell me what they're buying. So I'm gonna go over an example of a trade actually that we took yesterday and help you guys understand why we took it. So first we caught the flow. Flow means any unusual buying that's happening. Second thing is risk reward. Now, risk reward is how much you're going to make if you're right, how much are you going to lose when you're wrong. Okay, that's very simple. I'm going to walk you through how to do it. We're going to use TradingView for this. You guys don't have to. If you have something else that does the same function, just use that. Number three is always taking a trade on a key level. Okay. A lot of you guys are taking trades in the middle of a range. So you don't know how much you're going to lose if you're wrong. So most of the time, what I'm trying to say is your entry is incorrect. And if your entry is incorrect, you're in a losing trade from the get go. Number fourth is follow the trend. I'm going to go over an entire example, multiple example with this. If a trade has been in a downtrend, so it's going down for a year, example is AMD, and you're buying calls on it, you're going against the trend, most likely you're going to lose. Let's pause here. Let's go over a actual example here so I could show you. So I'm going to show you what a core trade looks like. Okay. Let me share my screen one more time. Hopefully you guys can. All right. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to pull ACHR. Okay, I always look at long time frame, so I'm always pulling daily time frame for a core trade because I do buy time on this. So you see a lot of consolidation. So let's add some moving averages to it because those are key levels, and then we're gonna see which one is this falling for. So 20. Um, okay, let's try 50. Okay, perfect. So let's look at this right here. This is a 50-day moving average. What we're looking at here is it's trending up and it's following the 50-day moving average. So this becomes my stop. Okay. Um, so I'm going to show you. This is an example of risk reward. We're going to go one by one. Okay. So let's look at. I always cover my stops as red, so it's easier. Sorry. So it's easier to understand. Okay, so this is a red. Now, my profit taking on this trade is uh, this right here, 1155. And then the reason for that is because that is the supply. But I'll also tell you that this is a big resistance right here, 1025. So I'm going to cover this as green because this is my first profit taking and this is my second profit taking. I'm going to, this is me showing you an example of how I calculate the risk reward. Okay. So this looks good so far. My entry on this trade, I took an entry, I believe, yesterday. So my entry was around somewhere around here. So I'm going to try to get as accurate as about right here, 942-ish. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to calculate the risk reward on this trade. So we're going to go on TradingView, and we're going to go on projection. We're going to go on long position. And so we're going to just focus on the first profit target. I'm going to zoom in, and it's saying that the risk reward on this trade is 4.37. What they mean by that is, let me fix this. Sorry, I apologize. It's 3.07. So this is an ideal core trade. It has a risk reward of 1 to 3. What that means is if I'm right, I'm going to make $3. If I'm wrong, I'm going to lose one. Essentially, what it's stating is every one good trade, one good trade is going to pay for 3 bad trades. Now the success rate's not even an issue. Even if you have a 50-50 success rate, you're going to be still 100% at the end of the month on your profit. That's the kind of trade you want to talk about. So remember what I said, core trade. What are some of the signs of a core trade? It needs to be taken at a key level. Yes, we're taking at a key level. It has to have a risk reward of 1 to 3. It has it. The third one is you have to follow the trend. If you look at this trade long term, it's been on an uptrend. So it qualifies that. So then what is the next thing? It's flow. So I'm going to walk you through on the flow that this got. Let's do this. Let me share my screen with you guys so you can see it. Let's do this. All right. So this is the flow that came in, and this is yesterday. I'm gonna go over with you guys. They bought February calls for 2025. They bought 11,000 of those. They bought more for 3 days out, more for 10 days out, more for 157 days out. Third, this is a massive amount of flow for a name like ACHR, which is has a short float. It's a small cap. It's a $10 stock. It's not Tesla or Apple where you're seeing millions every day. So this is what got the attention. So this is what we call a core trade. I'm going to repeat what it has. It has the flow. We took it on the key level. It has the risk reward and it's trending up. That doesn't mean the trade's going to work 100% of the time, but even for every three trades we take, this work one time, we've done the magic. Now, in this channel called Play of the Week, I've probably called about 38 trades in the last 14, I'd say 15 months, and my success rate's close to 85% because these are core trades and we give them a lot of time to work. And the last trade we took on ACHR did 500%. So it's one of those explosive trades. Now, this is not a financial advice. I'm not telling you to take this trade, but I wanted to quickly show you what a core trade looks like. Okay, let's go back to our next slide. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. So we cover core trade. The next I want to talk about it is risk management. Okay, this is massive. Okay, I'm gonna go over it. And one thing you're going to notice is everything I talk about is very simple and straightforward because that's how it should be. When you make things complicated, okay, what happens is it tells me that you don't understand the concept yourself, which means that you need more practice. So we make things very simple and we want to have absolute certainty what we're doing. Capital preservation is our number one goal in options trading. I see a lot of people playing 0 days and weeklies. Our goal, number one goal is not to make money. Our number one goal is not to lose money. Our number two goal is to make money. So there's a term that I use called make the trade free. I'm going to give you a very easy example. Let's say we took the ACHR trade, we put $1,000 in that trade, okay? After a week, that trade is $2,000. It's up 100%. I would sell half and take my principal back. This is what I call about trading free. I'll give you another example. Let's say you took your account from 5K to 10K. I would take 5K back into my account, not in my trading account. That way, you've reset your account and now you're playing with your profits. That's what making the trade free means. Next is buying time. The reason why options is, I wouldn't say hard, but options is not same as stock is because you not only have to be right about the direction, but you also have to be right about the speed at which the stock gets from point A to point B. So the more time you give yourself, the more things are going to help you, even if you have the wrong timing. So if you got in a trade, let's say at 140 and you're buying calls and it goes to 135, if you have time on that trade, that's gonna act like a little blip. You won't get stopped. I know you're playing weeklies. You could have the perfect thesis and you might be off by 15 minutes. You might get stopped. And we don't want that, right? So I recommend no weeklies, no zero DTE. I think it's a lot of that is gambling unless you have a very, very good edge and proven system that works. Third is position size, right? This is big. I'm telling you that position size is directly related to your emotions. If you take a big position size, you're going to be more emotional towards the trade. Okay. And you're going to be more emotional. Number fourth is compounding. Okay. This is crazy, right? Because a lot of people hear compounding and they're thinking, okay, um, I need to take trades fast. Like I need to take 5 trades so I can make 10%. Oh, why are you doing that? What if you took one trade and that made you 300%, right? Mentality needs to shift. Now I put in no trades 3+ months, but it's sort of like a loose rule. I would say if you've been doing this for a while, you're okay going 1 month. It depends on the trade and it depends on where you think it's going to go. So if something's going to range, like Tesla, let's say it's ranging from 380 to 420 for 3 months, you're going to lose money buying more time. And I don't have enough time to explain that. Buying more time is not necessarily safer. Sometimes it's like burning money because the stock is ranging and you're just going to end up losing money. So you have to buy the right amount of time. But I put in 3 months here. But if you've had some experience, 1 month plus is good enough time. Number three is concentrated risk. This is my favorite, most controversial, and I could not have explained better without explaining you this. Trader A, Trader B. Okay. Position size 1,000. Trader B position size 1,000. What Trader A is doing, I would say 90% of traders are doing that, thinking in their head, okay, you know what? This is a better approach. So it's a safer approach. It's not. I'll show you why. 300 in NVIDIA, 150 in AMD, 200 in SPY, 250, and then 50 left, right? So 250 plus 200, 450, 500, 6, 900. So $100 left in your account. Here's the problem with it. You are in four charts, four different trades, watching four different flow, four stop losses. You're micromanaging everything. Okay, that's one. You think you've diversified, you haven't. Half your money is into chips and all your money is into tech calls. So if SPY starts pulling back, majority, your all entire trade will stop. Because you're in four trades, you're not going to know which one to hold, which ones you're going to sell. Majority of the time, when a major pullback happens, you have no clue what to hold, what to sell. Okay. Trader B, on the other hand, $1,000 account, put $500 in NVIDIA call. One chart, one stop, one profit taking, no micromanaging. Okay. Way better approach. Why do people not do that? Because you've been taught to diversify because it's safer. If you're trying to take a small account, Trader B is gonna move much faster than Trader A. That being said, this is only if you take core trades. You start taking weeklies, you're gonna get blown up. So this is the most important slide in my opinion, as long as you're taking the right amount and right kind of trade, right? Okay. I want to cover this last slide and then we're going to go over one more example. And what I want from you guys is comment and give me feedback. Would you like to see? I just wanted to showcase how simple this is. And I'm going to show you proof with interviews on how people are making 10, 20, 30, $40,000 with small accounts. And again, my definition of small account isn't $500. I think it's a right place to start while you learn. I think $2,000 is a good amount to start. 2 to 5K is perfect amount and you can easily make 10, 15, 20, 25 from that amount. When you start with $500, you can't have a lot of contracts. You might have to go for low float, cheaper ones, cheaper contracts and cheaper stock. They don't always move the nice way. Okay, mindset. Rule number one, only trade with money you can afford to lose. If you're paying with utility money, it's wrong. If you're playing with vacation money, it's wrong. If you are playing so you can generate money so you can pay a bill, that's also wrong. You know why it's wrong? Because that money that you've put aside for your trading, I don't want you to have any emotions with it. So in my head, when you created that account, that money is gone. It's gone zero. You're not looking at that money. Rule number two, only trade core setups. I can say that, but I know most people don't do that. And it's because um, it's just you're in a trade, core trade, it's 2, 3 months out. You entered 2 hours ago, but then someone posted their profit screenshot on a weekly. You're like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna dabble in that too. That's what's happening. I took someone who's been losing for a while and told them that I'm gonna walk you through, and I put them in my consulting package for a month for absolutely free. And I said I want to show you because I see a lot of talent and a lot of you know growth in you. So I told them 2 or 3 core setups. They took about 4 trades the entire month, and they made more money probably trading 4 hours in that month than they've had in an entire year. Okay, that's the power of core setups. Rule number three: once you've hit your target, walk away. Now, when I say target, I'm not talking about money goal. If you make money goal and you say I want to make $500 every day, you're gonna end up losing money because you're gonna force trades. What I mean by target is you see your core setup, you get in, you make money or you lose money. Doesn't matter. Losing is part of the game. If you think you're not going to lose in a core setup, you're setting yourself up for failure, which is why, like, if you follow me on Instagram, one of the things I say and I post is losses, because if you join my group, someone else's, doesn't matter. If you're going in this mindset that they don't lose, they've basically trained you to fail. So you get in a core trade, and let's say your stop hits, you get up and you walk away. You don't start looking out for another trade. You make money, you walk away. You don't start looking out for another trade. Rule number fourth is focus on process over profits. And there's a very big reason for that. See, profits are going to teach you bad behavior sometimes, because money sometimes conditions behavior, which is not healthy. I'll give you an example. I had a client, he was a lawyer, and in the month of September 2020, he played Zoom earnings. He put in $3,000 in that earning, and he made about $90,000 in profits. From September all the way to December, he spent about 4 to 5 hours a day trading, and he lost the entire $90,000 and $10,000 of his own money. This is what happens. If you follow process, you're going to get consistency. If you can't stay consistent, you can't scale. What do I mean by that? If you can't make $2,000 with one proven setup for 4 months, you can't increase your position size, because it's a hit or miss. But this is essentially what I want to talk about. I want to talk about one more example before we end this, so you guys we can put it all together for you guys. So let's talk about another trade we took today. I am going to share my screen one more time. Okay, so we talked about ACHR. Let's talk about another trade we took, Grab. So this had a flow for, I believe it was July, for 5 and 6 calls. Same setup. I'm gonna take the 9 out for a second here. This would have been the stop. This is the, let's say this is the profit taking, your first profit taking, 485 to 512. Sorry, this is your supply zone. This is your profit taking, and you buy a lot of time on this. Your stop, I would say, would be around here. So we're going to color this appropriately. This would be red, and this is going to be green. So first we're going to do what we did last time. It's a process, right? We do it every single time, no matter how boring it is, because we want profits. We don't want excitement. Risk reward of this is 1 to 2.8. So very close. I took this trade for that reason. Let me fix it. 1 to 2.0. So not bad. So flow is there. It's taken on a key level. Risk reward is there. Let's talk about uptrend. Long time is uptrend, but even if we look at short term, this is all the way since January. So for the last, I'd say, month and a half, this has been an uptrend. So that's what we're doing. Now, I want to let you guys know something. I'm running a 5-day live workshop, and it's happening next Monday. And I'm going to be covering chart setup and all that good stuff. So if that's something that interests you, I'm going to leave the link in the description. So feel free to grab your tickets. With that, I'm out. And as I said, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, which is I am Mosiri. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube. I'll be dropping a lot more videos. Thank you guys.